growing up as kids, did we love our parents?
So yes,
Yeah.
growing up, it was more of fear, but then being grown,
Would you say children are emotionally catered for enough in African homes? Because I feel like there's a level of emotional neglect when it comes to.
so you know what made me giggle when you said that? He said, "Would you say children are emotionally catered for enough?"
Yeah.
Wait, let's leave enough. Let's talk at them.
I thought,
Yes, I thought. So I don't know. I don't like saying African. African. This is always making me
But
feel
it's
like.
peculiar
But
to
I'm
Africans,
sorry.
so
That's
yeah.
what I've seen.
It is, yeah.
This is where I've lived. So I'm going to still say African. African parents' form of love. The highest form of love is provision. They feel like I put food on the table. School uniform. Your own is new. There's school bag. There's books. What would you say I've not done for you?
Would you say that is? Would you say that is a show of love or an obligation as a parent?
So
Because
you-
there's a
so-
difference.
So to the African parent, that is both a show.
No,
of
I'm asking
love.
to you now.
Okay, to me,
Would you say that's a
No,
show
that's-
of love,
that's-
or would you say that's an obligation as a parent?
That's-
Providing for, providing where to sleep, to feed, sending him to school. Is that an obligation or a show of love as a parent?
to be very honest, if you bring an African parent into the studio and we sit and talk, we're going to have a whole lot of arguments. We don't agree about a whole lot of things.
Right.
You bought books for your child, you sent them to school. Is not a show of love. It is your responsibility. They didn't ask you that they want to come to this world. I don't want us to talk about having children and all, but they did not beg for coming to this world. You sat down, thought it through that as an adult, I think it is now okay. I don't think people do things on as much as having children. Though a lot of people do it on just vibes, like I'm an adult. You sit down, thought it through, like I'm an adult. I want to settle down, and then you want to have kids. You need to put everything into perspective.
Some would argue that honoring that obligation is also a show of love.
So they would rather have not honored it, and then the child would have ended up as the street
No, I'm just saying the fact that I'm not speaking for the parents. I'm just saying that the fact that parents will argue that the fact that they brought a child to this world and they did right by him, which is their responsibility. I'm not disputing that. The fact that they upheld that responsibility is a show of love to the child.
So the responsibility to send your child to school, get him clothed, get him a place to
Yes,
sleep.
they know it's a responsibility,
It's an obligation.
but they know it's an obligation. But then them upholding that obligation is their manner of saying, "I love you." Yeah, because we live in a society where if they don't do those things, nobody's gonna send them to jail.
True. I mean, nobody cares if you
Yeah.
do it. But then, I don't think it's a show of love. I think you can do a whole lot of other things to show your child that you love him. One of the moments that stood out for me most, going to the institution, is my parent actually showing up to the institution. Shockingly, my mom just came to school, and they started gisting me. What's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with me. What happened? Why did you come to school? I just wanted to come and see my child in school. My dad too randomly did it. I think I was already in my finals. I just popped into school one day, and where are you? I'm in school. Come and meet me at this place. Like, see this man, you come at school. And we just started for a whole while.
Okay, on the contrary, when that happened to me, it was always with fear. If I don't know, you must have been such a good student.
No, I was not such a good
student. It was my mom. Whenever my mom appeared in school, whether it be secondary school or uni, and she calls me and say, "I'm in school," my heartbeat increases by 1,000. Like it just keep. I know that there's trouble somewhere, but yeah, I love it for you. This whole conversation takes me back to. I just want to go back a bit on the obligation thing with the parents, right? It takes me back to this conversation, this film that we had. I don't know if you saw this film, Fences, with Denzel Washington and Viola Davis, where there was a scene where he kept on, where he was speaking to his son, and it was like, the son was like, "How come you don't like me?" And it was like, "What law is there that I have to like you? You know, I provide for you, I feed you, I do this, I do that, I bust my ass every day working just to put food on the table and make sure." So I don't go around the world expecting people to like you. Go around the world expecting people to do right by you. And it was quite an interesting scene because people saw it as, oh, this is such an emotionally unavailable father. Yes, he does this, he does that, but he's still a terrible father. You know, why would you say that to your son and all that in the moments where he wanted reassurance? While other people saw it as might be tough love, you know. It might be tough love. So
Tough love.
yeah,
I think
you don't believe the concept of tough love.
So I think there are like a whole lot of ways to show tough love, but it's not like neglecting your child because you have provided for them. There's a space of even just having conversations that are very hard with them. Growing up, I had parents that wanted me to see life as it is no joke.
Yeah.
My dad had a very, very funny way of showing me. In fact, if he wants to explain something to you,
right,
he would not tell you. He'd rather use real life scenarios to explain it to you. He just somehow thinks it sticks.
So it sticks with you longer, yeah.
My dad wants you to know that this word is no joke. And then there's this popular radio story that we listen to that he forces us to listen to.
Right.
That tells very horrible story of how the life is. The Yoruba program. I can't remember. I think Inkombe was one on TV. There was something either in the radio or something like that on radio. See, when you finish listening to that program, my dad did not sit down and tell you that. You see that this life is very, very hard. It was tough love for us then. Because when we were kids, we were trying to. We felt like the world was innocent and beautiful, and then they are trying to tell us that there's a place where they kill the child. There's a place. It was very strong. I think conversation. There's a way you bring conversations around that you give tough love, but ignoring the person, you don't even know. Sometimes the person takes wrong choices, and then you want to force the person not to take that choice. You don't even know why the person is deciding to take that choice. And then you just feel like, I'm your father, you must do this.
Yeah.
I feel like
so this and it keeps bringing me to films and shows that I've seen, but I'll just make reference to an episode I saw of Everybody Hates Chris, where Chris had this argument with his mom, and no, it wasn't an argument. His mom was like, Chris, I need you to do this for me. And Chris had been working the whole day. Chris had two other siblings. He'd been working the whole day, and his mom was like, listen, I need you to do this for me. And the boy was like, yo, my siblings have been sat here the whole day. They can literally just have been working my ass off all day. And his mom was like, no, you are going to have to do this because I want you to do it. And it didn't make sense to the boy. You know, my siblings have been here all day. I've been working the whole day. And he said, no, I wasn't going to do it. And it caused a whole issue at home. You know, the father had to step in, you know, and then he got to a point where he had a conversation with his father. And he was explaining to his father, saying, you raised me up to be a man that stands for myself, you know, and if I say something that's not right, I'm going to say it. I've been working all day. My siblings have just been folding their arms, and then she wants me to do it. It doesn't make sense. And, you know, the whole thing ends with the father telling him, listen, the way to understand women, I don't want to make this a women thing, but the way to understand women is nothing makes sense. Just do it because she asked you to do it. And it just makes me think, because the whole thing was based on a Black American setting. And why do you think this whole emotional neglect thing from parents to kids is mostly centered around people of the Black demographic?
Again, we have our own way and style. Like I always have said it. If parents feel like I've provided for my kids, I've done right by them, they have where to sleep, they have what to eat, they don't have that point of, I need to call them, have conversation with them, let me know what's going on in their mind, let me teach them certain things that bothers around them growing up emotionally. So it is not just them, it is how it is being handed over to them. Even when you ask them,
do you think there's a need? There's a strong need from the parents for respect that they because I think mostly it comes from a place of fear. Growing up, we all had that parent that we feared a lot. It might be some people might be their mom, some might be their dad, but there was one parent that you knew, I did fear this person.
Yep.
So because of that fear, the fear leads to, for me, I'll call it false respect. Because you don't respect as a kid, you don't even know, you probably don't even understand the concept of respect fully, but you don't respect the person because you actually truly respect. You respect the person because you fear be your dad or your mom. You fear the fact that they might bring out the lash and start whooping you, and you don't want that. So they want me to prostrate every morning. Fine, I'll prostrate every morning. But it doesn't necessarily come from a place of from how a white person would do. I don't want to make this a black versus white thing, but just going by the numbers, from how a white people would normally handle things like this, where they try to like have a conversation, or you have a boyfriend in school, or talk to me about him, or you know not to do this, you know not to do that, be smart, all of that. And they born you and make you tell your mama for secondary school say you get boyfriend, you don't go use cane. They'll go use cane to design your face. So, like I said, do you think it's from a place of that fear and not necessarily love?
Yeah, so, again,
I don't want to cut you short. I just want to throw this extra question to it, right? Growing up as kids, and this might be controversial, growing up as kids, did we love our parents?
Growing up as kids,
did we love them or did we fear them?
So I would say we feared them, we learned to live with them, we relied on them. There was no other parent you had, there was no other way you could survive if you didn't have your parents. But then being all grown now, looking back at everything they had done,
you could see where they were coming from. Yeah,
I'm so grateful my
yes,
parents had to like go through these routes. And then again, I think I had a conversation with somebody and I said, I don't think I blame parents for how they do what they do. The honest truth is, this is everybody's first time at coming to this life.
For sure.
Nobody has lived, nobody has lived before. And then most of what we do is the blueprint that is handed down to us.
Right.
Most of our goals, our dreams is by the view that we have around us. The truth is, now people come on air and I'm talking and all this because that is what is happening around us. If we had come 200 years ago, we'll probably be in the farm. Yeah. You can speak well, you probably be the king's orator, or your king will send you a message, this person knows how to talk, or you be the diviner or something. So it is based off what we have seen, what is handed over to them is what they are exhibiting. Now we can do this because we are seeing the world in a whole different light. We're seeing, we can learn from this, we can learn from the Chinese, they do their things like this, and then it makes a whole lot of sense in the end. And that's the most important thing about humanity, is growth. Learning that we need to take this because this works here and adapt it with this. Getting stuck with this is what we do, but it's not bringing about that change. It's what a certain man will call madness. I mean, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So yes, growing up, it was more of fear, but then being grown, it makes you like understand a whole lot of things. That's why
what I would say is the downside to this, and I agree with you, it was a lot. That's why I feel the question. I think it was a lot of fear. I think as kids we never loved our parents. We feared them. We respected them also out of fear.
Yes.
Not because we felt respect for them. Everything was random based out of fear, and that's because we were not trained and brought up with.
And we understood with.
Apart from that, we're not necessarily trained and brought up with. I don't want to generalize because some people were, but most Nigerians were not trained and brought up with emotional stability, that emotional availability from the parents, and that love from parents in terms of being there emotionally for the child. So everything came out of fear. And the downside to that for me is that's why you see when kids are 18, 19, they want to get out of their parents' house ASAP. They want to be out. They want to be out.
They go to school, they don't want to come back home.
They want to be out as quickly as possible because that it's not there anymore. It's not that the parents didn't focus on building that emotional connection compared to, and I don't want to do this again, but compared to how the whites will do it, where they make themselves available for their kids and all of that. You see them, even if they move out, they visit quite frequently. They have that family bond because emotional availability and we're in a demographic of the world where, well, the region we are in the world is a region where, as Africans, we see being emotional as a sign of weakness. It's viewed as a sign of weakness. So if a father is back from home and the mother says, "Oh, your boy messed up in school today," the father comes back from home and the mother says, "Your son was caught watching pornography," for example, in school. God. Yeah, it's straight to it's straight to lashing. It's straight to lashing. In comparison with others that might just sit down and say, "Okay, how did you come across this? What happened? Who initiated you to this?" And that doesn't mean you don't discipline them as well. You have your own method of discipline, but try and understand what your son goes through. That's why most of them, some of them get pregnant at the age of 15, 16 years, and it's like, "Oh my God, I'm so surprised. I thought you were such a good child. How did you get pregnant?" Because when they were going through those phases, you were never there. Your kid cannot have a bad day and come and speak to you as a parent and say, "Oh, I had a bad day. The teacher asked me some questions. I did not get it, and my mind was all over the place." talk to me. It was never there. It was never there, and that's why the parents suffer. It feels like an attack on parents. I love every single mother because you guys are amazing on your own way, but I'm just laying it down because that's why the first chance they get, they want to leave. The second they get to adulthood, they want to get out as quickly as possible. They don't want to be around them anymore. They want to, because that connection was never there to begin with. And I hope that is something that the next generation of parents, i.e., we work on, and just try and get better at, because being emotional to your kid is never going to be a sign of weakness. I know you want to be strong, life is tough, I get that, but being emotional to your kid, being emotionally available for your kid has to be able to tell you you have to be your kid's best friend. You got to be able to tell you everything that happens. They should not be afraid to keep stuff away from you.
And a lot of people are going to inch it on the fact that there is no, like, I go out to hustle, I'm looking for money, I can't come home. To be very honest, that's immature. That is very, very immature. I feel proud of myself now. I'm talking like somebody. She say that, we say that's very, very immature. If you think that because you go out to get what you want to eat, what your kids are going to eat, it makes you, when you come back home, you don't want to have that conversation with them. What you're doing is, I want to explain what you're doing. What you're doing is, you are trying to solve a problem, but you are leaving much more complicated problems unresolved. The kind of conversation you should have with your kid. For example, you go out there, you hustle for like 5-10 years, you make like $1 billion. Your kids, you have not talked to them about money, how to work around money, how to even be better behaved persons. That $1 billion will squash on them. Like, they will eventually burn it out, because there's any kind of conversations you should have had with them. There's any kind of ways you should have talked to them. I know this generation will do a whole lot better. I see one very funny content. It is a content, but the honest truth is, yes, it's an awakening. A mother will call the father, your son, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this. Well, now the child, when your daddy come, your daddy will show you pepper. The child told me, my daddy will not show me any pepper. My daddy will call me, will ask me what happened, and he will advise me. My daddy will not show me any pepper. And the man came home, and true. The woman was like, you're making me look weak. I was like, why did you not show him the pepper? Why are you waiting for me to come and show him pepper? So before you say I'm a bad father or something. Yeah, but at the same time, it tells to the part of the father and the child connect on some levels. They can have certain kind of conversations. It can help instill certain kind of morals that you don't need lashes to instill.
It's good. I love that you said that. Let's now touch on that. That's the final part of the conversation. Let's now touch on the modes of discipline we grew up with. Did you think that they were right? Again, the lashes, the stooling down with one finger, the
Okada,
all that stuff. Did you think that they were right now in hindsight?
Again, I'll still take it.
Because nowadays the funny thing, I'm so sorry. Nowadays the funny thing is, people don't do it. Even schools don't do it now. Schools are recently, a lot of schools are getting, cautioned for actually flogging students.
Okay. Yeah,
because I've seen that a lot. A child is whipped, and the parents goes to the school and say, "How dare you whip my child?" And it's kind of changed now, as compared to how it was back then. So do you think it was right now? Do you think it was right back then, or do you think it's right now that people are waking up to the physical? People are calling it physical abuse.
Okay, so again, I still say that people are going to act based on what they know, and what they know is based on what they see or what they learn.
For sure.
They can't bring what they have never seen before. The entire corporal punishment and all is based off, that was how colonial masters around them, their fathers and all. That's what they know, that's what they learned. But now we are getting a generation where people are, I tell somebody, I say, you want to punish a child for something. If you flog the child, the pain is going to last max 15 minutes. I was telling a mother, I say, there's a age your child will get to. If you beat the child, you can't use ibuprofen. You'll be tired. You take a 16-year-old boy, you want to beat him. How long? You're about 40 something. You self, when you finish, you got use paracetamol. You'll be tired. Your body will tell you. But there are certain ways you can punish a 16-year-old child. There are certain things you can take from them. Just sit down and have a certain kind of conversations with them. they just mentally understand that, okay, I think I get what this person is saying. A kid is not doing the assignment, and then I saw his teacher saying, walk, he was walking from here to the gate, like back and forth, saying, I want to be a good child, I want to be better, I'll continuously do my assignment. He did it like for 15 minutes. I told him, yes, you can come, sit down. He said for like the next 2 weeks, the boy was doing the assignment. I overheard teachers speaking, and they said the small baby was making noise in class, and then they told her stop it, and they heard her being quiet, and they looked at her. She was playing a very far more dangerous play. So what the teacher did is, when the mates go out to play, tell him, sit down there and be reading your book. It feels a whole lot more better than I'll carry cane and flog the child.
Yeah.
So, and it does not mean like, oh, that's the best form of punishment yet, but it shows that we are gradually moving away from that. I will flog you, I will beat you. There are a lot of child, they don't beat them. The mark, they take it to their old age.
It has become a sense of pride to some people. So
Yes,
having those whoop marks on them.
You know how many strokes they get in Nigeria like that.
I does 20 strokes. I does 15 strokes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, my parents' punishment. There are a whole lot of ways to handle like a whole lot of things. It's not when the person gets to a point where, okay, it's like the person has turned to, there's something Yoruba call a gwenja. He does not want to bend anymore. You can now hand over that person is no longer a child, a young adult, to appropriate authorities. They'll discipline that kind of person. And in most times, it does not still work with. It's exactly why our jail system fails. It's exactly why jail system fails. It's not just in Nigeria, it's in the world. Somebody does a crime, you do not make the person understand. First, you need to understand the person's state of mind. Then you need to make the person understand that thing is wrong. It is very, very wrong. You don't just take the person like we do in Nigeria. Person still goes, you carry him, try for prison. There, he goes ahead to meet hardened criminals. He's coming outside, he's no longer stealing goat, he's jacking car. So we need to get to that point where we realize, we know, we understand that it's not just about being brutal and all. Sometimes these things are psychological. You need to get to the person, reach that person, you know what is inside the person's mind, and then how you can, if not by punishment and cane. Some of us will not be where
and then
we will not be where we are. It's not by punishment and cane, we will not be where we are. But it's a point where it reaches you, it gets to you and be like, okay, no, we cannot just keep doing it like this. And then that's what works.
And there you have it. It's extremely important for parents to, be emotionally available for their kids. It's one of the most important things. In fact, that to me is probably top two most important things, alongside provision for your kids. As a parent, I feel like if you get to a point where your child is going to a particular age and there's that emotional connection is not there, you would regret it in your later age. So let's just hope that the next generation of parents, i.e. us, work on them. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
What he said.